Welcome to the Slice of Orange. I'm Mayor Jim Beam, and with me again today is my co-host, Naomi Mason. Naomi, I've had a lot of compliments about our set here today. I'm not sure if everyone knows that you're the person who designed it. And I've also got some questions about our pictures. Why don't you tell us about where you obtained those photos?
Well, actually, these were brought in by the fire department, Jim, and they are going to help us tell our story. As you know, our topic today revolves around the fire service here in our lovely city, and more specifically about one of our community's longtime fire veterans who's about to retire.
So, Naomi, will we be meeting this guy?
No, Jim, I'm sorry, but he's in depositions again today.
Well, then I guess we'll just have to rely on these pictures in order to carry us through. But we are fortunate, however, to have ex-Fire Chief Richard Miner, who is in town for this monumental event, and has agreed to come in and tell us a little bit about our honoree and soon-to-be retiree, Captain Rich Eggers. Now, tell me, Chief, you worked with Captain Eggers during the 1980s, didn't you?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, that's right. And I'm very excited to have this opportunity to share with you and your viewers some historical facts about Captain Eggers and his illustrious career here in the Orange Fire Department. In fact, this is the first time in a while I've been able to talk about Rich without being under oath.
Well, it sounds like Captain Eggers is quite a character. Maybe it's a good thing that he's not in here with us, Naomi. Just for our own personal safety here in the studio, you know.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly, Mayor. Rich has had what you might call a very checkered past. I guess you could say it all started back on that fateful day in 1954 when Rich was born here in our beautiful city of Orange.
Well, let's see the mugshots. Excuse me, I mean the photographs.
I suppose this is a good place to start. If we could bring up the first photo. Being the sixth of 5 planned children, Rich believed that if he worked hard enough, this whole city could become his oyster. Trying to discover his manhood, Rich first actually thought about being a professional hunter, but accidentally shooting himself in the arm, he kept pursuing other interests. Then he thought about being a NASCAR driver, but a series of injuries made him think otherwise. He did find he had a natural mechanical aptitude. In fact, this would be the first rig that Rich ever spec'd out. It would also be the last that he would actually do any of the work on. But over time, these skills and these looks, he knew he had what it took to pursue a career in the fire service. Through a commitment of hard work and serious personal application, Rich joined the ranks of the Orange City Fire Department. Well, one thing Rich learned right off about being a firefighter was how much time off he had to enjoy. Now, this was another fishing trip in Mexico that got cut short when Rich and his friends were, unfortunately, quarantined after a serious gonorrhea outbreak.
Sounds like a little too much Spanish fly to me, huh?
Yes, it was quite messy. Well, after getting his friends through ordeals like that, Rich Eggers realized he was capable of taking on greater responsibilities on the job, so Rich worked hard and was eventually promoted to fire engineer. Here, Rich was eager to show off his new knowledge to his son Brandon. Here we see Rich saying, "And you see this, son? This is a motor." It was about this time that Rich Eggers began a project that would change the Orange Fire Department forever. Through support and approval from his current captain at the time, Rich developed the OFD Video Training Library. Now, Rich spent hundreds of hours filming, directing, editing, and cataloging nearly 1,000 training videos for the department. As you see here, Rich kept only job-related videos in the library. Later, he enlisted the help of Joe Albers, a member of his crew on Truck 1. Joe was eager to assist Rich with editing and other duties. Joe soon felt compelled to do Rich a favor by updating the old sign on the AV room door. Rich really appreciated that. One thing Rich did learn while working with all this audiovisual equipment was he liked to see himself on tape. So it wasn't long after that that Rich found himself representing the OFD in the local Firefox competition. You know, the guys thought it would be tough trying to convince Rich to join the competition, but fortunately, Rich already had his paperwork filled out well before being approached.
You know, Rich was named Mr. February. Is that because he was the shortest member?
No, ma'am. Actually, it was because he had the shortest member. Here, Rich thought it would be a cute idea to wear his favorite smoking jacket at one of the competitions. Unfortunately, the judges were not amused. Here, while on a cruise, the Yeagers occasionally would ask another vacationer to snap a photo of them to take home and enjoy after the trip was over. And when no one was around, Rich liked to just have Margot take pictures of him relaxing. Anyway, through persistence and sometimes being a real pain in the butt, Rich successfully promoted to fire captain. Now, previous performance evaluations like this showed it was obvious that Rich could control what went on around the station and with his crews. After a while, though, the guys did find other things to do. And when becoming an officer, it's normal to become a little nervous with the new responsibility. But here, Rich had no idea that that would make his gas exponentially worse. Besides leading his crews on calls, Rich understood that there were other important factors of running a fire department, such as liability and cost recovery. Here, Captain Eggers has the victim sign the charge sheet before they extricate him. Good thinking, Rich. Now, luxury of being a company officer is being able to go and visit the places that you like during your shift. Here are some of Rich's favorites. When most Orange firefighters see this bell at the front of fire headquarters, they think of a long fire service tradition and how passerbys often like to ring it. Well, unfortunately, all Rich thinks about is this. This is a nice picture of Joetta Bingham reminding Rich how much her and Margot appreciate him and Mark for providing a safe household for their families and bringing home a lot of love and support. And here's a shot of them actually bringing it home. Well, with his long history of video work, it was a natural transition for Rich to create what will always be known as the Truck 1 A Shift Christmas cards. For years, stations throughout town, along with Rich's family and friends, would receive these photos with a wish for a special holiday season. So now that Rich is gone, the crew of Engine 4A Shift is hoping to carry on the tradition. Here's a sample of their latest handiwork. Muy bueno, guys. Muy bueno.
Boy, that Captain Eggers is quite a guy. But I thought he was already retired.
Well, I believe, Mayor, that was actually a one-year paid vacation, courtesy of the fire chief.
Wow. How do I get a job like that?
Well, I don't know, Mayor. Do you like gladiators?
Let me get back to you on that one. Next, as you all know, is the segment of our show which includes you, the viewers, and their opinions regarding this show's weekly topic. For that, we have field reporter Joe Albers at Orange Fire Station 1. Joe, are you there?
Hi, this is Joe Albers, Fire Department field reporter, reporting for the Slice of Orange. Maybe you can tell me what you are going to miss the least about working with Rich Eggers.
Oh, that's an easy one. Definitely the Christmas cards.
Christmas cards. Definitely Christmas cards.
One of the things that Rich always loved to come up and talk about was looking at his huge pythons. Look at these pythons.
What does the term 4 men, 1 mind mean to you?
It means you work really hard to try to promote so you can get out of there.
Well, I don't really recall what that meant, but I'm just glad I got my mind back.
Hang on a second. Yeah, Rich? Yeah, Dennis. Hey, Joe's here. He's asking questions about 4 men, 1 mind. Yeah? Okay. I'm really not supposed to talk about it right now.
What does the number 6 and Rich Agers have to do with each other?
Oh, well, he developed that term from Blazing Saddles, but it's actually a full-on extrication where we do the whole job.
I think that was the number of cigars that Rich smoked a day.
See, the number 6, did that have anything to do with how many times he needed union representation? I'm not sure.
Rich enjoyed wrestling shows in the WWF. Any comments on that?
50 years old and you still believe in leprechauns.
Does gullible mean anything? Rich, it's fake, okay? It's not real.
Yeah, he sure knew how to clear out the day room.
So tell me, what are you going to miss most about working with Rich Agers?
Probably truck 1 man your rig at 8:45 in the morning every day. Or maybe that autocratic single issue leadership style.
Probably the Tabasco corn and the smell of cigars.
I'm going to really miss the Christmas cards.
Any favorite quotes from Rich?
Don't you know that man's a...
If you rookies want to pass this probation, you guys are going to have to watch Barnyard Love.
I'm going to the Pro Bowl, baby.
Anything you'd like to say to Rich?
Well, Rich, I just wanted to thank you very much. I got to work with you for 7 years as your engineer. We had a great time. I learned a lot. You did a lot of good for me. You gave me a lot of confidence in myself, in the truck. And you got me to do the truck manual, which got me more involved in the department. I just really thank you very much for that. And you have a great retirement. Thanks.
Rich, learned a lot from you. A whole lot. What to do, what not to do. Had a good time. You know, I enjoyed the quick-witted jokes we had. And it was fun while it lasted. I'm glad to see you retiring and in good health and on to the next fun part of your life.
Just good luck, Rich, and thank you very much. I learned a lot from you, and we really appreciate you around here, and thank you. Good luck.
Rich, seriously, congratulations on your long career at the OFD. You've done a lot to help and serve our department and the citizens of Orange, and as a former crew member and friend, thanks for helping me and everything you've done. And I just hope that you and Margot have a long and happy retirement. Congratulations.
Wow, that was quite a show. And you know, there's so much more we could talk about, but believe it or not, Rich's 15 minutes of fame are up, and they always go by so fast. Naomi, thank you for all the research you did on this program, and I understand that I get to take the Christmas card home with me.
Well, Mayor, I've already promised those to the girls at fire headquarters.
Oh, well, anyways, want to thank our viewers for watching today, and if you've seen or heard from Captain Agers, please call the mayor's hotline. And so we're going to close today with some highlights from Face the Station. This was Captain Agers' informational and educational monthly in-house TV show. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you all next week.
Welcome. My name's Martin, Ann Martin. This is Let's Talk, and today we are talking to male pinups. Most fun I've had in ages. So you guys settle down, whoever you are, wherever you may be, pour yourself a cup of coffee and look at these charming, beautiful, handsome, wonderful young men. They're also doing something very useful in their lives. To my immediate left, I have a firefighter whose name is Rich Eggers, and Rich is Mr. February. Valentine's Day.
Right.
A real calendar pinup. That's fantastic. Get a good look at him. Isn't he cute? So what was expected of you? Now, did you get a taste of what women have been going through in bathing contests and that sort of thing? Did you have to model in trunks?
Well, we first came out by groups of department, 4 in each department, and we came out in our tuxedos, and then we came out individually, stated who we are and where we're from, and walked out there in a little T-ramp. And then it was like an intermission. Then we came out in our trunks and flexed our muscles. And
how did it feel?
I don't know. It was a total blur.
You just comb it out. Huh?
Champion of dance, his moves will put you in a trance, and he never leaves the disco alone. Arrogance, but not conceit. As a man, he's complete. My creme de la creme. Please take me home. He wears the finest clothes, the best designers, heaven knows. From his head down to his toes. Austin, Gucci, Fiorucci. He looks like a steal. That man is dressed to kill. He's the greatest dancer I ever seen. He's the greatest dancer I've ever seen.
Well, you are good-looking young man, and I do enjoy working with you on the fashion shows and sort of making like the dirty old lady and having the best old time because you're such fun to be with. But you know, there's a serious side to all this, and I'd like to talk about that just a little bit. Let me get some information about you personally. How long have you been a firefighter?
I've been on the department for 10 years now.
10 years.
I'm an engineer. I drive the truck.
You're the one that drives the thing and hopes people like me pull out of the way like they're supposed to?
Hopefully, yeah.
I see.
But,
see. I'll remember that the next time I see one driving along.
One copy, assuming throwback group assigned to Chapman Division.
Approximately 6:30 this morning, a 22-year-old female was trapped in her car when she lost control of her car and hit the power pole. Once the units arrived on scene, it took about 15 minutes to extricate.
Today we performed a vehicle extrication with a patient trapped.
Hi, I'm Rich Eggers, firefighter with the City of Orange Fire Department. Christmas time is a warm and festive time of year, but don't let it get too hot.
So they gave it to us as an unknown type medical aid, so we were responding, and as we approached the scene, we looked and we could see the pool in the front yard and people around there, and I looked down and I saw a little boy soaking wet laying on its side.
Well, my operation was to become a ventilation group, and we approached from the east, and we had working fire from the garage area and lapped up into the second floor in the attic.
That's the latest technology, and we can really learn from our mistakes with video. Before we've used stills, slides, and slide presentations, things like that. But most every department's getting into video. is she in the pool?
Not more than 2 minutes.
Remember, don't let this happen to you. Teach your children to swim as soon as possible and learn CPR.